Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Vlada and I'm currently in the process of planning a wedding for September 2024. I am a bride and I've been looking for bridal perspectives on wedding planning, but there is not a lot of them, so therefore let's talk about it together. I'll be giving you tips as I'm going along if you're a fellow bride, and hopefully they'll be very useful to you. First things first, I've started with the website, right? And a website is somewhere where you get to keep a lot of information for your guests, like dress code, where the event will happen, anything they need to know about accommodation and so on. For this, there is many different options like say I do, do not, and so on. And you can obviously choose whatever suits depending in which region in the world you're from. I've personally used the not because I just liked that I could choose from different designs that suited my style better. Be careful with the not, there is a lot of hidden fees that you can bump into. So I'm actually not using any of the paid features, and also I'm based in Europe. So in Europe you actually don't really get to use the paid features from the not because they're mostly about US based vendors or US based offerings. What I used was a very nice design from Vera Wang for the website, and then that way you get to perhaps transcribe a little bit how your actual wedding theme is going to look like. So that's the first thing. It was very easy to set up the website because you get everything for you and you just basically need to name the pages and so on, but it doesn't have as much flexibility. I know other websites have even less flexibility, so for me the not was okay in the end. After that, I was thinking what should be the next step. And what we did is we started looking for a wedding planner, and maybe you don't have the funds for a wedding planner, but because our wedding is going to be abroad, I couldn't physically be at the location. So for me, it's easier to have a wedding planner that is locally based to be able to coordinate everything together. So we got a wedding planner, but before we got a wedding planner, I actually started to already do my research. So for example, vendors, the most important vendors, photographers, videographers, obviously the wedding planner, and some we started looking at venues as well. And I wanted to keep all this information together so I can put the pluses and minuses for all the places I was researching and make sure I keep track of everything I've done. And I was looking for advice and I came across this Google Sheets that I've shared with a lot of future brides as well. They were free at the time. Currently, I think they're $16.99, and their paid version, I will be sharing a link here somewhere and also in the description box below, but they've been, you know, a huge plus for me, or like a huge time saver, and very, very convenient because there you get to keep track of everything, your guests, your vendors, the pricing. It also gives estimated pricing and an actual pricing, so that way you know where everything is. It's a one-stop shop. So before we reached out to the wedding planner, I've actually reached out to multiple wedding planners because that's important. As a bride, you need to get vendors or people to work with that you vibe. If I don't vibe with my wedding planner, I don't think I would enjoy this process. So we did interviews with like 5 or 6 wedding planners, or even just from emails. So we looked at categories like money, how much are we spending, what are we getting for the price, how is the person like, how did they show up to this meeting, because I think it's also important to get that first impression. Okay, sometimes maybe the first impression is not always correct, but in our case, one wedding planner was just taking the call from a phone but with no video, knowing that we are abroad, we won't see her. It wasn't as nice. Our current wedding planner, she met us on video, she made us feel welcome, she was excited about our wedding and everything, and honestly we've made the best decision we could. Then already with her, we started planning for the other bits and pieces. But in that time, we also decided what are the negotiables and the non-negotiables. So what am I willing to let my wedding planner, you know, decide herself or give me advice, and what am I willing to not do that on. So for example, I said straight away, photography and videography, I am calling the shots. And we've shortlisted a few candidates. I described what I wanted. She gave me great ideas, and in the end we chose what we felt went best for us. So again, we did some interviews with some of the people. I call them interviews, but it was just calls, right? To make sure that we are on the same vibe, that we understand each other, that they're willing to make some compromises that we need. So with the photographers and videographers, we also made some compromises that are relevant to our wedding day, and it works, right? So that's about vendors. So we've got the website up, we've got the wedding planner. We started to look at the vendors. So it was wedding planner, videographer, photographer, venue, and then what else did we get? The other vendors as well, but they weren't as important at the time. Those for us were kind of the most important things to get sorted as soon as possible. With the venue itself, I've been so lucky because my husband has helped. So he has been looking at venues. I gave him an idea of what I'm looking for. Again, he was local. He knows what we are looking for. Or where to find that, and also we've told our wedding planner what we are kind of envisioning, so she sent us more ideas for what we already had. And then my husband started looking at dates. So one thing, maybe you're particular on your date. For us, it didn't really matter which day we're getting married, so we managed to get a date that's cheaper. It was one day before the high season starts for the wedding venue. And it was also a Monday. You know, it's different. A lot of people want to get married at the weekend. For us, it didn't really matter. People will have to travel regardless to our wedding, unfortunately. So that's one thing, or one trick for you to keep in mind. Juggle with the dates. Try and see, can you get a cheaper price for the venue if you move your date by a few days or so on. And look at the season as well. High season, low season. If your vendor doesn't have it written somewhere, ask them. In our case, it was in the contract. So we made sure to look at all the contracts to ask questions and so on. So we used to go with the questions to our wedding coordinator, and then she would, or wedding planner, she would then go back to the venues and ask them and so on. But if you're working yourself, you can just, you know, directly address the questions. Thing I wanted to mention, we sent, so we had our website, right? We've got vendors and so on. We decided to send the save the date quite a while in advance because our wedding is abroad. We needed to make sure that people have enough notice, especially the important people that are going to be called. So we've sent our ones around 1 year in advance. Does that mean that everyone's going to make it? Probably not. We wanted to make sure that our loved ones have enough notice and they can join us on that special day. I thought about sending physical invites, but then I thought that this is going to cause so much trouble because everyone is based in different countries, even like not in the same, not only in Europe. There's people based in America, there's people in Europe, several countries in Europe. There's people that travel all the time, then South Africa as well. So what we did was I opted to go for paperless post. I don't know if you know this app. If you don't, it's basically you can send a post or it's like an email, and then there's like a cute post that pops up and it has the invite, and then it has the link to the website as well, to RCVP. So I've created the invites following a similar style to our website. So again, this allowed me to keep the same team going through spend less money, but it wasn't about the money. It was to make sure that I can send this invite to everyone through email, Messenger, WhatsApp, Instagram, whatever it was. I was able to reach these people in this way. And otherwise, there's no guarantee that my email would have got to them or my actual physical mail would have got to them. So I would definitely recommend using paperless posts. And it's a different, more modern approach, and obviously there is sustainability involved as well. You're not really using paper or things that maybe people would be using again. Instead, obviously, at the wedding, we'll make sure that there's going to be a thank you gift or something that people can take to remember our wedding, but I've decided to do it that way. And we are also not really doing like official wedding invites or save the dates. The people that we've sent the save the dates to, they know that they're actually invited. And we will resend it a few times during the year to make sure that they're reminded if they haven't RSVP'd and so on. But there is not going to be a lot of hassle in my case of having to create separate invites, having to create separate save the dates and so on. It's the same thing. And with the website being there, if people have any questions, they'll find it on the website. The hardest aspects of wedding planning. As fun as everything is, and as fun as it is going dress shopping, the emotional aspect that comes with the whole wedding planning and the loneliness feeling that no one really talks about. In my case, it's been a massive guilt that I have to deal with because the wedding is, you know, somewhere abroad for a lot of people. And it's something that I don't think really anyone understands but me, because in my case, I am feeling the one that's guilty. I'm feeling that I would love to pay for everyone to be at this wedding, and I am being made to feel more guilty by family members, by other people, and it's not nice. And when you try to explain, I don't always feel that people understand. To be honest, at some point I felt like, you know what, we should have just eloped and that's it, call it a day. But I know then it would have sparked a lot more negative feelings as well. And I think that's something you deal with when you come from cultures where weddings are very important. So I come from Moldova, weddings are big there. And I always wanted a wedding, but it's not nice how during the wedding process planning one feels like this. So for me, it's this emotional aspect of guilt, the emotional aspect of not being able to pay for everyone that you want to have there, the emotional aspect of perhaps not being able to do your wedding exactly like you would do it if it was two people from the same country doing all the traditions and everything, but you need to compromise. So we are both compromising. What are we doing from our different traditions and so on. The next one I would say is with, I don't know, let's say the aspect of bridesmaids. I didn't really want to do bridesmaids, and then my significant other, he wanted to do groomsmen, and then for me that created a lot of, I don't know, again, anxiety about the whole process. I did not have to think about this before, but now suddenly I had to decide. I did not want to decide between my friends, but it was a case of who is going to be able to be present there, who has the capacity to, I don't know, organize things or do things. But I also am the type of person that I don't really need anything from the people, so I probably anyways won't ask for any favors or so. I just want the people to come there, have fun. We go on a, I don't know, girls trip or something and have fun there. But in terms of friends and so, it's also been difficult because you don't want to feel like you're only talking about your wedding, and you also don't want to feel like you're asking people for too much, or especially if you're putting someone as bridesmaids, there's different expectations and different cultures that someone is going to pay for something, that someone is going to do something. So in my case, I will be covering some of the things for them, but I did not want to decide on outfits just because I don't like the same colored outfits. I don't like having to deal with, I don't know, creating the same dresses and so on. So it's different. So I had to think about this, how to do it. I've decided on something at the end, but yeah, there is an emotional toll. And the more you're wedding planning, at some point you just start to feel like there's still so much to do, there's so little time left, and you start to overthink it. And for me, it always helps to talk with my husband and then to talk to the wedding planner and to make sure everything is still, you know, in time, and that I am okay, we are okay, we're going to get there. But it's nice when someone asks, hey, how is your wedding planning going? Do you want to talk about it? Not necessarily someone telling you how to do things, but just genuinely asking how everything is, because it does feel daunting. And like I said, it's mostly because of the whole emotional aspect and politics that come with wedding planning that a lot of people probably don't understand about. But yes, it's been weighing on me a lot lately, especially when you're trying to balance work, life, friendships, relationships, and the wedding planning, and you want to still be excited about it. And yeah. Okay, but here we are going to wrap up about the emotional aspect of the wedding planning. I just wanted to say to the brides that you're not alone. It is a lot of work, it is overwhelming. Make sure that you're talking about it, and make sure that you're talking to your husband about it, because we always speak about it. He understands me, he is there to support. Obviously, he cannot support on all the aspects, but we haven't thought about wedding planning, and I think that's the most important. If you manage to keep the peace and the same nice relationship between you two through this whole process, it's amazing, because it's not worth it. There is going to be a lot of people with different opinions, family that doesn't necessarily agree with all the decisions that you're taking, but they will come around anyways at the end, because it's what matters to you and your husband the most, and that's kind of, for me, the most important. About fun things or good things, I'm soon going to collect my wedding dress, which I'm super excited about, and then I can do more of actual shopping for things that I need. So where am I now? Few months away, 6 months away. I'm about to start my glow up journey, and the next video that I'm going to be filming, it is about how I'm planning to do my glow up. Not that I really need a lot of glow up, but just, you know, for the wedding planning itself, or for the wedding itself. And then we are about to start dancing classes for the first dance that we're going to have. So we found someone local here in the Netherlands that is going to help us with putting a wedding dance together, just because we are not that amazing at creating something ourselves, so we decided to hire someone. Then we are going to get a mock decor set up at our venue, and then fortunately, we have to visit the location again this year, so we are going to see it in advance and see if we need to make any changes, tweaks, and so on. And yeah, these are kind of the important things, and there's little things like deciding on the final songs that we want to use, you know, the whole structure of the day. And here I want to say that we have the wedding planner, we have a separate MC that is going to be flying from my home country, and then he is going to kind of coordinate the whole day. He is going to also sing, he's going to plan everything and so on, and then we also will have DJ. And I think we are fully equipped with people that can help us have an amazing day. So we already have a structure for how our day is going to go, but I think that will get more refined the more time is going on. The scariest part, I need to be helping a lot of people to make sure that they're getting flights in time, that they're getting their visas sorted, that, for example, for the MC, I need to be buying the flights and the visas and so on, and I also have to make sure that my granddad is able to travel. So a lot of logistics are going to start to kick in soon. So that's why I'm trying to get things in motion now, so I don't have to deal with everything last minute. But I'm sure there's a lot of small things that will start arising soon. To deal with all of this, besides using the Google Sheets planner, I've also used just PowerPoints. You know, I am creating the vision, let's say for the church, for how I'm gonna look there, what I'm gonna do there, what do I want for my bridesmaids, and so on. So I feel like with PowerPoint is better for visualization. Of course, Pinterest at the start is amazing. But then on PowerPoint, I'm actually creating the whole palette of things that I want. So be it the shoes, the dress, the robe, I don't know, earrings and so on, everything in one place. And then I put like a name, I don't know, wedding day, blah, blah, blah. I'll show you some examples of what I mean. So this is another tip from me. And then I think this is it. Oh, we also need to go shop for a suit for my husband, and then obviously clothes for my parents and his parents. They're sending in pictures, or I need to go shopping with my mom for her dress. But that's a lot of going out of the context of what this video is about. Do I wish I had done anything differently? I wish I would have not cared as much as I do about some of the, you know, opinions or things, but I don't know if things would have been possible to do differently. I think if I had the opportunity, like I said, I would have paid for people to be able to fly over, but unfortunately the reality is we don't, so that's what it is. I think I just want to make sure that people have the best time there, and I think too much about it. But also I just want to make sure that I also want to mention that you as a bride and you as a groom, if you're watching together, need to find the small moments in all this chaos of wedding planning, of creating moments for yourself. So I don't know, a day where you're not talking about this, different type of environment, and then try and not think about it, but also have scheduled days where you're going to be talking about it. So just times where you're actually going to go through what you still need to do for the wedding, and make it fun, you know. So yeah, I'm gonna wrap up this video here. I hope you found it insightful. If there is anything else that you would have liked to know, please let me know. I'm happy to walk you through it or share my opinion or my experience. Feel free to put your comments down here, and please subscribe and give it a like and keep a big smile on your face, and whenever your wedding is, you'll be fine. Thanks.